Hi everyone, I'm Alan Mishkulnik. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'd like to talk to you about swaying in your golf swing and how swaying in the right amount and in the right direction is going to help you improve your contact, swing more into out, and thereby produce more draws rather than slices, and as a result of all of this, maximize the distance that you can hit the ball. Alright everyone, let's talk sways. So for the sake of simplicity and reference, let's just assume that the center of my upper body, of my upper torso, is my sternum, and the center of my lower body, of my pelvis, is my belt buckle. So what we'll see the very best players do is in their backswing move neither center in either direction excessively. So they'll take their backswing and their sways will be more or less zero. So they'll stay very centered, move in neither direction. Then in their downswing, they'll push their hips approximately 5 inches towards the target, thereby also shifting the lowest point of their swing to the left, and their upper torso will follow that trend. So the center of the upper torso will also move to the left. What is the result of that? That they're very capable of controlling the lowest point of their swing, and in particular keeping the lowest point of their swing left of where the ball is, and thereby ensuring that the contact with the ball is always good. So conversely, what do we see amateurs do on a daily basis when they come to see us? So what they will tend to do is that they will shift both their upper and their lower center to the right, shift their weight onto their right side, and in more cases than not are unable then to shift their weight back, shift their centers back to where they need to be, and then they will contact the ground either to the right of the ball, hit the ground first, or they will avoid the ground and the club will then be traveling upwards by the time it reaches the ball, and then they'll thin or they'll top the ball. So that is the trend that we see with amateurs, and what they need to do instead is to keep their upper and their lower centers further left first in their backswing, and then in their downswing to push further forward to ensure that the lowest point of their swing is as left as it can be, to ensure the best contact that they can produce. Another consequence of swaying your centers to the right in your backswing and then keeping your sways to the right in your downswing is that it changes or shifts your pivot point to the right or over your right leg. So if I just demonstrate, if you move over to the right, which is what many amateurs do, and then they stay to the right, I'm pivoting, I'm turning around my right leg. So that would mean that in my downswing, when I reach my right foot, my club would be swinging straight, and then by the time I reach the ball, it would be already swinging inwards. So down the line, it would look something like this. Sway off to the right, I would stay right. So this is where my lowest point would be, around where my left foot is, and by the time I reach the ball, my club would already be swinging to the left, and depending on what the face orientation is, would result either in a pull, slice, push, slice, so an undesirable ball flight for any amateur player. Now conversely, if I sway slightly to the left, my pivot point would be my left foot. Now, in addition to, as I already mentioned before, being able to control your lowest point better and keeping your lowest point further left, this is also going to encourage an in-to-out swing. Why? Because by the time you reach the lowest point of your swing, if the ball is further right, let's just look at down the line. So if I'm pivoting around my left foot, if the ball is further right, then the club will still be traveling on an inward into-out path when it reaches the ball, thus encouraging an into-out swing, and depending on what the face orientation is, and ideally would result in a push draw. So the result of those two things, so firstly improving your contact, keeping a low point further left, and secondly, swinging in to out with a closed face, thereby reducing your dynamic loft, increasing your smash, and increasing your ball speed is going to mean that you're going to hit the ball a lot further. Okay, everybody, why don't we carry out a couple of swings and then also have a look at the numbers, see what the GC Quad tells us. So the first swing will be one where I'm going to be swaying off the ball to the right, upper center and lower center, over my right foot, and then I'm going to keep my sways to the right, pivot around my trail foot, and my expectation will be that my path will be out to in, and I'll be producing a slice. Conversely, for my second shot, then I'm going to try to stay centered in my backswing, and then in my downswing with weight tendency lead side bias, and then in my downswing I'm going to push my hips towards the target, I'm going to sway my centers towards the target, and thereby swing slightly more into out, produce a draw, push draw. All right, here we go. So first swing will be shifting off the ball and staying on my right foot, thereby producing a slice, out to in swing with a slice as a result. All right, there we go. Let's have a look at the numbers. Ball speed 101 miles per hour, smash factor 1.28, 7 degrees out to in, carry distance 121 meters. So not particularly good for a 7-iron. Now let's try the same thing with staying centered in my backswing with my weight being more lead side bias, and then pushing forwards in my downswing, shifting my sways, my centers to the left. Okay, all right, here we go. All right, so looking at the numbers, my ball speed has gone up to 117 miles per hour. Path is 4.3 in to out, and my carry distance has improved significantly with a total distance of 158, carry 149. So you can see big difference, even though I didn't try to swing any faster with my second swing, but by changing where my sways were, thereby influencing the direction of my swing, influencing my smash factor, my dynamic loft, and also just the energy transfer onto the ball. It's very visible that there is a clear difference there. Okay, everyone, so how can you practice this at home? There's a whole array of drills that you can find and that you can apply in order to manage your sways. The one that I like the most and that I recommend to my students is find yourself a table at home or even wherever you're practicing, and then move your hips towards the edge of the tables. So when you're taking a backswing and you have a tendency of pushing your hips to the right, the table will prevent you from doing that. So the idea is, after you've positioned your hips to the side, on the edge of the table, when you take your backswing, just feel how your right leg is sliding along that table edge, or even moving slightly away from that table edge, thereby ensuring that you're definitely not swaying off to the right, but in fact either staying very centered or moving slightly to the left. And in your downswing, what you then can do is, in order to initiate your downswing by swaying towards a target, is leaving the edge of the table and shifting your weight, your pelvis over your right foot. So this is how I would start. I would initiate that shift of your sways to the left. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me the thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. I'm looking forward to seeing you the next time. Thank you and goodbye from Singapore.